Okay, so bear with me for a second. This is a little different, right? I'm not gonna go into my whole spiel about Nintendo as of right now, as a whole. I think they've been pretty anti-consumer for a really long time. In all honesty, really, I would say around 2015, 16, I really woke up to that fact, and I've been moving certain ways because of it. I speak with my wallet. I don't go and be performative and demonstrative, and then buy whatever the hell. But if there was a franchise that I always liked, and not to the same degree as people, like I grew up with Pokemon, but Pokemon was not like integral to my growing up in my childhood. But I really did like Pokemon for a long time. And to tell you the truth, to be completely honest with you, during the PSP and DS era of the handhelds or whatever, really two eras of handhelds. If I'm being honest with you, my ish was modded in R4s and T4s, so no handheld games were truly getting bought, right? So, with the exception of my mom getting me silver, no gold, crystal, and emerald, the only Pokemon game that I actually paid money for out of my pocket was X and Y. I got both actually. I remember I got both. Because it was like a deal. So basically, I basically got both the games for a little bit over the price of one DS game. I think it came with like 100 Pokeballs or some special something. I don't remember what it was. And I didn't really like the game like that. So it was the first one on 3DS, and things were changing and whatnot, but I wasn't really feeling it. But that all being said, I've been extremely frustrated with Pokemon for a long time, personally speaking, and I think playing Sword and Shield, I got that from a friend. Um, really put the nail in the coffin. Like, this is not it. This is not it. Like, I think they're doing a terrible job. Like, ironically enough, the series does not evolve. Like, I'm sorry. I know you guys are probably, some of you Pokemon fans are probably gonna give me a gimmick or this and that and the other. The game has not changed since the first one. It's the exact same game. You giving me a big ass Pikachu is a gimmick. This is not like a actual integral real change or gameplay type beat thing. And like what I could and the reason why I'm a little bit shocked is because I would say that when Nintendo started first releasing some Switch games, I felt like they were trying to make even their most basic and long running IPs fresh in some type of way. I honestly don't think Mario Odyssey, for me personally, has a lasting appeal after I finished the game. Like, I beat it and stopped thinking about it, but I thought the way it was and was presented, and now you get a lot of moons instead of like a set star per stage. You just like you could find like 8 randomly in an hour and stuff. They did something to change the visual flair and feel of the game, in addition to Breath of the Wild changing up the formula for Zelda. So it's not like you have to go to the dungeons in order. And the first one, you didn't have to do that. So remember, this is kind of like a remake of the first one in a sense, if you really think about it in terms of like just traveling and whatever. I'm not gonna get into that, but you get the dungeon item, you solve the puzzles with the dungeon item, then you beat the boss with the dungeon item, and that's the formula goes. You find 4 heart containers, you get like boring, tired formula, and they switched it up with Breath of the Wild with the open air format. So I truly thought the fact that we were finally getting like a mainline Pokemon game, really, I don't know if our Coliseum and XD Gate of Darkness spin-offs, I don't really know what we consider those, but since those, basically, I mean, there's that one on Wii, but I don't think it was very good. But anyways, like, so I thought visually and all kind of things was gonna be crazy, and Sun and Moon to me, as far as I'm concerned, is like a DS port plus. It's not crazy. It's not beautiful. They cut out half the Pokemon. It's not well animated. It's boring. It sucks. It's bare bones. But there was a lot of quality, like quality of life type upgrades, like with the candies and stuff, the XP candies. But still, it wasn't it. And oddly enough, I find like a lot of Pokemon fans are actually pretty honest about that fact. So all I really want to do with this video, for anyone who's frustrated with the Pokemon formula, I want to offer some alternative games that are like more independent and whatnot, that you can play and get something Pokemon won't give you, or something you never really thought you wanted from maybe Pokemon. That's very interesting. So here's some recommendations.
I got no time to parlay, unless it's big checks or parlays. I've been bricked, it's not far away. Light the spliff and I stargaze. Consultation with the constellations. They said the world was in a dark phase. It got me desperado for protection. Carry big strap in a guitar case.
I'm gonna start up with Nexamon and Nexamon Extinction because I think this is one of the ones that really, really wears the Pokemon inspiration really on the sleeve and does not at all shy away from it. And truth be told, it's hard for me to say it's better or worse, but I just think that there's a couple things about it that make it very refreshing. I'm really gonna speak about Nexamon Extinction. That one, in my opinion, is the one where they really tried to kind of do something different and differentiate. But the first ones you could get on Steam or on your phone. I played it on my phone for 99 cents. There's a couple of like microtransaction stuff if you care, but I don't think it's gonna. I don't think anything there is something you really want, so I don't really think you need to do that. But you could get it on Steam for about $9 as well. And I assume that one doesn't have microtransactions. I don't know. I didn't play it on Steam. But the one thing I will say with the first Nexamon that I just find is just very refreshing in general is just the dialogue and how the game speaks to you, right? In Pokemon, you are a 10-year-old trainer, no matter what, from some town who just got a Pokemon, and you are the fucking greatest trainer ever. Like, I could be a 30-year veteran, you just got your Pokemon, you beat me. And it's just like, oh, well, you're a champion. Like, it's so fucking annoying because all I do is baby you and give you everything and tell you you're the best all the time, pat you on your head, you're the chosen one, right? Not in this game. This game kind of wears the stupidity on its sleeve, which I actually really appreciate. Because it's like, there's one part where you kind of find, you get your first Nexamon. Around these times, you meet these two really low-level grunts. You meet one of them later on, maybe 2 hours into the game when you beat him, and he's like, how the fuck did you get so good in a couple hours, right? It's like actually wearing that on its sleeve, and I can appreciate things that are super self-aware. There's a lot of fourth wall breaking stuff that I think is pretty funny and stuff, and the fact that the game just doesn't treat you like you're literally a 10-year-old child playing a game is very refreshing. But in addition to Extinction, what I'll say is, with the addition of that, and it being a little bit more adult, with really, I think the funniest side quest I've ever done with a ghost wanting me to delete his fucking history, laptop history, like browser history, like that shit was mad funny. But the Xbox Extinction is semi-open world, like where the monsters will scale with you. So once you kind of finish the beginning stuff, you can just kind of go wherever you want and do things. There's no gyms, thing like that. What you're really doing is you're like a monster tamer that's supposed to be helping people in the region and getting your rank up in the Monster Tamer Guild. And then you go around fighting these very tyrant Pokemon, Nexamon, sorry, and stuff like that. And it's just a really fun time as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, so that's Nexamon. Temtem is probably the one you all know about. Temtem, I think, is the one is really worth it from the competitive and camaraderie aspect. I've played it a couple times with my friend on his PC and PS5 now because it's on PS5. Still in early access of this video. It's not out yet, but my general understanding is that even with the game being 50% completed, or at least when it was, I think now they're probably in the 70s. It's an indie game made by like a couple people, like 20 staff or whatever, and like it has better visuals. And more content than Sword and Shield does, even with its expansion DLCs, which some of you morons paid like $50 for. When all of that, like at the very least, I would have respected Sword and Shield more if that was the base game. Everything with the DLC included, without the base game, I probably would have respected it more. But Temtem, what I truly appreciated from about it, aside from the visuals and like, I like running around and seeing like people online and stuff. Even though I don't like games that are online only, but it is what it is. I'll make that sacrifice. I appreciate the competitive aspect because it doesn't have any RNG, random number generate, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. But like, I really am not a fan of randomness or rolling, if you will. Just because I'm generally a very unlucky person. When whatever the situation is based purely on luck. Like, not to toot my own horn, but I'm nice at Mario Party. I win pretty much every mini game. I never win the board. I never win. I'm so unlucky. I'll get the worst numbers. Like, oh, if I get a 3, I land in the Bowser space and I'll get a fucking 3, right? So like things like that happen to me. So I always thought it was frustrating if I'm battling somebody and I see a switch in and I use Stone Edge or something, I miss, they hit me with a crit, I lose the battle. So wait a minute, I got punished for making the right correct play, the right read, but I'm the one who's losing? Garbage. There's none of that in in Temtem. It's all pretty straightforward. Things don't really miss like that, and whatever. The stamina system is better than PP, so that's why I recommend that. But Kindred Fates is the one that I really think you guys are going to be interested in, because it's kind of open world, right? You run around and the combat is real time, so you're not just saying bubble beam and it does bubble beam. When you use bubble beam and use some of your mana or whatever, and then it happens and they can dodge it or block it or whatever the case is, and it's really awesome. But what I like about a lot of these games too, actually, I'll say maybe not Temtem so much, at least not yet, what I've seen, is that they don't really separate the monster from the people. So if I'm battling you and you beat me, I can still literally just beat your ass and kidnap you or whatever the case is. They don't really separate the two, so there's like actual conflict with humans and the monsters and stuff like that, or at least at some point. Not just, oh yeah, Pokemon humans just oh yeah, we're just, like, it's not like that. So I appreciate that part of it. So with Kindred Fates, you could get attacked by monsters along with your kindred or your kindred spirits, whatever they're called. I can't remember what they're called right now. And they're kind of like yokai, and with that weird yokai, like kind of ghostly flame you kind of see a lot in Japan. So what happens if a Pokemon, like, if a kindred faints, it turns into like a flame thing. You pick it up, you could probably restore it or fix it or whatever the case. But let's say you die and it dies, and you have to run back to the spot where it is to get the flame. If it runs out, that kindred is gone. It's gone. It's dead. There's nothing you can do to save it. It's like almost like a built-in Nuzlocke type thing, type B. And I was like, real stakes. That's interesting. Plus the open world and running around in the real-time combat. I think that's dope. I would say, just as a side note, if you're more of like if like me and you like the pixel era, high bit pixels, whatever, check out Monster Crown, Monster Sanctuary. If you want to mix in monster taming type battling with like a Metroidvania game, because I'm a Metroidvania guy, Hollow Knight and stuff, like I like those type of games, so that might be for you. Laxadays looks like it's gonna be, but they're saying it's Persona meets Pokemon. I don't know what that means yet. There's a Door or a Dory or Dore. I don't know how they're pronouncing it. This looks pretty cool, like isometric top down, kind of like a MOBA to me a little bit, where you summon your little creatures and stuff. Like, ultimately, I'm not the kind of person, I'm not here telling you, yo, Temtem is the Pokemon killer, Pokemon's gonna die. First of all, do you know how much money Pokemon makes? Do you know how multimedia that franchise is? Like, just stop it. No, Pokemon's never going anywhere. They make far too much money. But I don't think you need to look at these games like it's trying to take away from Pokemon. They can all exist in their own spaces. Like, Pokemon could be great, Temtem could be great, and they just go their separate ways. That's how I see it. So all I'm really trying to do is, if you have been frustrated with how Pokemon and Game Freak and Pokemon Company, whatever, has been handling their games, these are some interesting alternatives. I never really knew about the monster tamer subgenre of gaming, if you will, or creature collection is also heard it be called. But I've been really into it. I'm almost done Nexomon Extinction as of this video. I beat Nexomon, the first one, and I had a blast. Like, I just laugh and cackle playing that game. If anything, the text and the self-awareness and breaking the fourth wall stuff makes me laugh. Temtem has been a blast from what I've seen. I think Monster Crown looks really interesting. I'm gonna really sink my teeth into Monster Sanctuary right after Extinction, so I'll let you really know about that one. But yeah, I also want to give a shout out to YouTuber Gym Leader Ed. Check out his channel for all your monster tamer needs and whatnot. Like, that's where I get a lot of my news from that guy. He's from Toronto, so it's kind of raw, you know what I'm saying, to connect. But anyways, I'm out of here. You guys have yourself a mighty fine day, and yeah, you're.
Tears all falling, my heart is froze. Can't talk to me.